afternoon, everybody. Brian here, VetteSource again, checking in on a busy Thursday afternoon here in Houston. You can hear and see there behind my house quite a bit of economic activity going on. I guess everybody's either coming home from work or rushing to the grocery store before they run out of toilet paper again. But anyway, today is more or less just a random collection of me tearing down some old inventory I've got sitting around that I need to get out of here. Just clean up. You know, this is part of the thing about dealing in the parts business is you've got to make sure that you keep track of your inventory, and some of the piece components actually will take up more space than they need to, and then you've got dead pieces, frankly, that don't really do you any good, like in this case. I thought I saw a broken piece on there, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so maybe I got some good pieces. So today what I'm going to do is kind of just speed run, if you will, through some of this tear down. Figured you guys could sit here and watch me do this as I use Old Faithful the truck to pull out inventory and get it squared away. So, you know, this, if you're not familiar, haven't seen some of my other videos, this is a radiator box assembly from 84 to 89 here, and essentially all I'm doing right now is just tearing this down so into individual pieces so that I can get them separated and processed that way. I've got one more bolt hiding in here, looks like. Let's go ahead and take this bolt out. Yeah, there we go. So a lot of times these individual pieces, sometimes guys will break these parts on their cars and they don't need the whole assembly. So what I can do is give them their individual parts that they need to keep their Corvettes on the road, because most Corvettes, frankly, nobody wants to tear them apart and get rid of them. They like to keep them, you know. I'm guilty of it myself. So, you know, here I'm just kind of going through the motions here pretty quickly. And the radiator box assembly on these cars is fairly easy to get to. There's a 7mm, 10mm. Now I say that they're easier to get to when the components are out of the cars. If you look back to some of my other videos, I'll put that link up at the top there. I had a video where I showed tearing down removing the radiator system out of that 91 parts car I had about 6 months back. If you look there at the top, I'll put a link to that one so you can see what's involved in getting that out of there. So we're just going to pull that through. There's an outer housing. This here is an interesting piece. This is a V08 heavy-duty cooling fan, which was optional on 84, I think 84. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89 Corvettes. This was actually a little pusher fan that went in the front, and you saw these a lot on the southern cars, not so much on the northern cars. And I think it was a $100 option, if I remember correctly. Not sure off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've actually priced out some of that stuff. And of course, so yeah, this is the piece I was thinking of that was broken. Over here, our air dam assembly is no good. So what we'll do is we'll take this opportunity to pull that off with that 7mm and go ahead and get rid of this and remove the rest of it. Now, I am kind of a stickler of keeping original nuts and bolts around, just because I like to see how this is damaged here. So there really won't be any value in me keeping this, except for that bolt-in bracket and that riveted bracket I'll hold on to. So I will get to, actually I'll get to that one right now, so I can. And guys, this is just kind of a raw video day for me. I just figured you could bounce around and see how it is, what I'm actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Now that one I'll have to punch those rivets out, but any of these particular fasteners, even this piece right here, where's my long handle? Should have my tools ready before I start this. And we get that underneath there. Because again, you saw my video from yesterday where I talked about the devil in the details with Corvettes. A lot of this stuff gets saved and reused again, because Corvette guys and gals end up keeping their cars a heck of a lot longer than anybody anticipates. So you want to make sure that you hold on to everything. And I'll even hold on to these nut plates, these bolts right here, even though the fan assembly broke out of it. I'll go ahead and take those out, put those to the side. And then of course our assembly itself is still good, so we'll hold on to that one. This one here is from a later setup. This is the 91 through 96, where you can see this fan box assembly comes out as one big piece. So pull that one out. And the fans all come out together in one piece, like that. This is your bracket to hold your AC, your dryer assembly in. Right here, if I can bend that back enough to get in there. Come on. That one's spinning on me, so I'll have to get to that later. But I'll show you real quick so you can see. If you're wanting to use these fans for another assembly or another car, you can actually just pull these fan assemblies out, and there you go. They're self-contained. That's pretty cool. So we'll set those to the side. We'll go ahead and take this one out. This, interestingly enough, that's your radiator hose support right there. That bracket there. So that upper radiator hose fits inside that bracket. Of course, Corvette only piece. You're not going to find that on other cars. And there's that. There's this piece here, and this one here has an air dam that I won't bother with, but you can see these air dams on the later ones are riveted into place, so those rivets have to be drilled out, so I won't be able to get to that just quite yet for you guys. There's another one of the later 91 through 96s, so we'll go ahead and separate that. I dropped something there. There's our 10 millimeter across the bottom. There's that bracket again that we were talking about, that we saved. Set to the side. And again, these fans are really cool for if you're doing some kind of hot rod conversion. These actually push a lot of air. They're real compact, but they're really fast movers. And on the Corvette, what they do is your left fan drives your basic cooling functions, and your right fan turns on when you've got the AC command on. Unlike in the Camaros and the F-bodies of that year, the Firebirds, they would run both speeds, both fans together at a low speed or a high speed. So, kind of a different operation there. This one, this air dam here specifically, I'm going to save simply because it's almost new and I need it for another car. So, let's see if I can get that to work without. Yeah, I'm going to have to two-hand that one, guys. A couple of them. These nuts themselves, with the built-in washers, are kind of a special nut. People look for these a lot too, because this is kind of a particular GM style nut that anodized. So I'll get to that one in a minute. And let's see, we'll get to our last one here, which is again an earlier one. This will be the 84 through 89 style. Oh, and it's still got the radiator cooling system installed in the pod. So let's go ahead and get this off of here. That one's out. There's our other fan assembly right there. And let's see, we'll start here. Now these actually are a three-parter there's 3 pieces to this pod all the way around. So what you got here, 10 mils in the sides and the front. And we get those out of there. And then we'll work on, now that I've lost my tool there, getting these 7mm out of the top. So we'll pop that, change that out. That one's out. That one's out. Those are there. And I'm missing something here. Oh yeah. Come around the back, the front here. Okay. And we'll grab these last 2 hiding in this corner over here. All right, and then that whole upper piece comes off, see? So then you've got the whole upper piece, and you can take that piece off while it's still in the car, and there's a good radiator right there. Now, that looks in pretty good shape, so I'll probably set that to the side, maybe pressure test it, because again, it's an original radiator. Looks like, okay, we're gonna flip this way. We're gonna work on our 7 mils that are left. Go for these, and we'll swing that around. You got 2 more hiding in these corners. Now I will say, if you got this in the car, this panel here is a booger to get out if it's still installed in the car. So make sure you try to take everything out of the way before you attempt this. All right. And then of course somebody decided to put an interesting one there. So with a non-standard fastener, because Corvettes do not get Phillips head bolts in those corners like that. So let me get that out of there. And on, see, somebody just put a sheet metal screw in there, and then that piece is off. So this one looks to be pretty good. This we call this the cow catcher right here. It's kind of an intricate little piece early. What it does, it forces the air through this section right here, so it directs it straight into the radiator so it doesn't escape. And other than, you know, that section's torn right there, this may still be able to be used for like a daily driver type car. So get that out of there. That one's off, and then we're left with the bottom part. We'll put that over there with the other bottoms. And then, of course, this is that cow catcher. And truth is, I would probably end up, because this bottom is damaged, I would separate this piece. In fact, I'll do it right now so you can see it. Because all these pieces have individual part numbers on them. And, of course, we've got another non-standard fastener over here. Yeah, somebody put in there. And again, being that this is ripped on both sides and in the middle here, I would not retail this piece out, so I'll probably get rid of this piece, but scavenge all the other little stuff off of it. So, you know, just a quick random day, guys, of tear down of parts. I know I went through this quickly because I didn't want you guys to sit around and watch me for hours do this. So consider this a speed run, a tear down. That's actually a bumper from the Alante I still need to tear down. A couple of more fans over here, little stuff like that. So that's gonna knock it out for today. Oh, this is a C5. What they made in 3 sections for C4s, they finally got smart and made this 1 section for C5s. So this, everything you saw me tear apart on the C4s, that's the 1 piece that it became on a C5. So that's kind of a cool thing. good as far as teardowns go, and that's their C5 air cleaner housings, you know, buckets for the rear. But anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. You watch me to the end, and I'll be back tomorrow with some more random Corvette madness as we work through our busy work days here. And like I said, we're getting a lot more traffic on the roads than I was expecting. Last night was pretty dead, I guess, because all the bars and restaurants are closed. But I'll check you guys tomorrow, man. I'll see you then.